Order. Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, tēnā koe hone for your acknowledgement. Much appreciated. Kia ora. So, first, of course, is the Christmas best wishes to and safe holidays to all of those who are here in Parliament, all those people here who make doing our job as MPs possible. We get all the glory and, it's all the privilege of being in this job, but we are not the only ones here that make doing this job possible. All our parliamentary staff, and from the Greens to all of our Green parliamentary staff here and across the country, we want to say thank you. To the security people who keep us safe, the catering staff who keep us fed, the travel office who keeps us moving, thank you for all your work. To the porters who are here in the chamber, who are almost universally ignored. It's their job to be invisible, but they provide services to us that we could not do our jobs if they did not. And we want to thank you for your work over the last year. You work long hours for not great pay, and we thank you for that. To the Select Committee staff, Hansard, the library, the clerk's office, IT buildings, there'll be lots I have forgotten. Again, we cannot operate and do our job representing the people of Aotearoa, New Zealand without you, and we want to thank you for all the work that you do. To the cleaners, who we know are appallingly paid here, but who keep our workplace healthy and functional, again, we want to thank you. You too are a silent, invisible workforce in this place, and we appreciate the work that you do. On behalf of the Greens, and I think on behalf of all members. So this has been a great year to be a Green. Thousands of hours of our work has delivered the best election result for the Green Party yet, and we are only just getting started. You might remember in '96 we began our parliamentary time as just a few members within the alliance, and we have continued to grow as an independent, principled political force, now cemented as the third largest political party in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We want to thank all of our members, our supporters and voters who helped to get us here. We are in the process of creating a greener Aotearoa, a richer New Zealand, where everyone is cared for, our environment thrives, and our economy is resilient, ready for the challenges of a 21st century, a modern progressive Aotearoa. My co-leader Russell Norman today began our Green parliamentary term reminding us of the common values that are shared by us all and reflected in the holiday period to come. I don't think it was expected by members that he would do such a thing. But those values are common: compassion, justice, sustainability, love. Love for our country, love for our people, a love that is honoured by our actions, not just our words. So I have to say it was with great distress that, although no surprise, to hear the speech from the throne today perpetuate this government, national government's attacks on beneficiaries, and to hear the Prime Minister in his address today restate the myth that work is a path out of poverty. The truth is it is not. For the 2 in every 5 children who live in poverty, whose parents work, work is not the pathway out of poverty. Work is the trap, because work is not properly paid. There are not enough jobs in this country, and those jobs are not paying enough for our families to survive. With the minimum wage so low and with the prospect of the youth wage being reintroduced, there is simply no relief from this government for our families who are struggling. Families who have found themselves without work deserve compassion and fair treatment, and particularly those who are caring for children, and particularly for women. Now, this government's intention to effectively abolish the domestic purposes benefit, a benefit used most by older women with children whose husbands have left them, is a direct attack on women and their children. It is, in my view, the most misogynist government policy we have seen in some decades, forcing these women to relinquish their responsibility as mothers, to work in miserable, poorly paid, inappropriate jobs, to leave their children in unsafe situations and poorly regulated, low-quality childcare under the duress of poverty, being forced for fear of losing their benefit, is misogyny in practice. This government will leave children in unsafe situations, and it will be the children who pay for this misogynist policy, and their mothers who are blamed if anything goes wrong, while National Party ministers sit back and enjoy their luxury holidays. There is no luxury here for the families who will suffer under these policies. I am joined by my Green colleagues in condemning this misogyny, and we commit to fighting alongside other opposition members for New Zealand women and for their children against these vicious anti-women, anti-children attacks. But it's not just in the government welfare policy we see this kind of, in my view, sexism play out. Women's productivity remains ridiculously underrated and underpaid. Actually, a fact made very plain by my colleague Catherine Delahunty's Members' Bill. And the weird antics of Alistair Thompson, I don't even remember, this feels like a million years ago, it wasn't that long ago. The weird antics of Alistair Thompson, who just really set out the values there really clearly. We only need to reflect, of course, for an example. You want an example? We only need to reflect on the example of the woman who cleans John Key's office, right? So there is a woman in this building who cleans John Key's office at night. He doesn't see her. He's busy doing his other things. She is in his office in the evening. She's cleaning his office and his kitchen. In the mornings, early in the morning, she is cleaning his office and his kitchen. She is cleaning his toilet, so he has somewhere safe and clean to eat from, and somewhere safe and clean to poo in, right? She gets $14.50 an hour. So $14.50 an hour for the cleaning of John Key's office, the cleaning of his kitchen, the cleaning of his toilet. She cannot afford to buy proper Christmas presents that she wants to get for her grandchildren because she is so poorly paid. And this is a government who will happily keep the minimum wage at just $13 odd an hour. They're quite happy to keep her on $14.50. They think that's all she's worth. But I know that the Green Party and the Labour Party and the Mana Party, Māori Party all agree that actually this woman's work is worth much more, and that she deserves respect, she deserves compassion, she deserves justice. She deserves proper wage for doing a proper job. But this government, National John Key, he doesn't care about that. And that is a shame. I'm really disappointed by that. And we can see not only the misogyny in the welfare reforms, but even in the failure to acknowledge that people should be paid a decent wage for a decent day's work, reflected in the sexism and misogyny of this government. I want to say and acknowledge my party, actually, for the fact that we are the only caucus where we have more women than men in our caucus, 8 women and 7 men. 6. Thank you. Maths is not my great thing. So I think that's really good. That is about the Green Party embedding into our decision-making the respect for women and the respect for women's leadership at the highest levels. But it's no surprise that women are reluctant to become involved in the political process, when even as we saw today, when Winston Peters made, in my view, quite a sexist and racist comment, that comment was not censured by the House. So this House becomes a hostile place.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
I think there are 2 points of order, Mr Speaker. One, it is out of order to accuse members of making racist comments. But secondly, this was a matter that was dealt with by way of point of order and ruled on by the Speaker previously.
I'll hear the Honourable Member briefly.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Yes, the matter was ruled on by the Speaker. The Speaker said that he would park the issue and we will continue with the debate. I think it is a matter of right that I am able to raise these issues in my speech as part of a debate without necessarily re-raising the issue of the point of order itself.
We don't need to take up a lot of time on this. All I'd ask is members be a little thoughtful about what they say, and as the Honourable Trevor Mallard has pointed out, is to use the word racism or racist in this House we know is offensive to people. And I know the member didn't accuse anyone of being racist, but did refer to some comments as being racist, and all I'd ask is a little more care in the use of language. Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And I would note that if it is impossible for members to even raise the issue in this House, not even be able to use the words to try to discuss the issues in this House, then this place becomes a hostile place for those who may suffer from those attacks or from those comments or who take personal offence. If you can't even say the words, then that is a problem. This place is hostile to our communities. We have just come out of an election where thousands and thousands of people who have voted for us to be here to represent their views and concerns. And we in the Greens take that responsibility seriously. We are here to speak for our people. And so this Parliament must enable us to have the opportunity to have those debates in a real way and to make sure that this House properly reflects the needs of all New Zealanders and their concerns, and that we can talk about those things in a robust way that doesn't shut down debate and certainly does not allow for the ongoing personal abuse of others, whether in this House or outside. This is a problem that we have here.
Order. The member's time has expired.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tēnā koutou katoa.
Barbara Stewart.